wonder if we play Bach Suites, just like Viola da Gamba, the feeling. It's something like a lot of open string.
It was great getting a chance to sit down with today's guest here in San Francisco. I'm Jason Heath. This is Contrabass Conversations, and we are featuring a conversation with Jung Ho Fu, who is the principal bassist of the National Symphony Orchestra of Taiwan. And they were on tour recently and came through San Francisco. So he and I got together here in the city, in the marina, in a bustling Pete's coffee shop, and chatted about his edition of the Bach Cello Suites, all 6 of them, and his recording of them. And we talk a bit about the keys that he chose them to be in. They're a bit lower than what bassists typically play in, the reasoning why, a little bit about his orchestra. Super great guy. And thank you to former podcast guest Cielito de Jesus for connecting Jung Ho and I while he was in town. This is a short and sweet episode, so no ads for this one, but I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, D'Addario Strings, Steve Swan String Bass, Upton Bass, Colstein Music, and the Bass Violin Shop. You'll hear more from all of them on future episodes, but you'll also, in addition to our chat with Jung Ho, you'll be hearing a little bit of him playing some of the Bach Cello Suites. So here we go with this conversation recorded live here in San Francisco. Jung Ho Fu, great to have you here. We're in San Francisco, and you just performed with your orchestra here at Davies Hall last night. So thanks for getting together and chatting. And why don't you let people know just a little bit about your orchestra? Tell us about your orchestra and your job.
I have been in this orchestra from 1989 until now.
Wow.
So almost 30 years.
And you're on it. You go on tour every year. This year you were in Seattle, Los Angeles, and now here in San Francisco and San Diego.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And with 8 bass players in the section.
Yes.
And you have a set of the same basses. You were telling me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When were these basses made? Tell me just a little bit about those basses.
This bass was made by Franco-Canadian. Mm-hmm. His name is Jack Gagnon.
Okay.
Jack Gagnon.
Okay.
And I think he's 90 years old, something like that. Mm-hmm. So, but that bass is, we bought these 8 basses were 1998.
Wow.
It sounds very good.
That's great. And you have, I see right here in front of me, you've put together this edition of the 6 suites for solo Bach.
Yes.
And then this also a recording of the 6 suites, which is a great accomplishment. And you've been working on this for many years.
Yes.
Tell us about this edition. I've just been looking through. Tell us about the keys and your choices. And
yes. I played Bach Suite for maybe over 30 years. Mm-hmm. And in 1984, I began to practice Bach, the first suite with Sterling edition,
right.
Peters.
Yes.
It was very good, and easy to play. Mm-hmm. But when I began to play the second one, it's very strange.
Yes.
It's a little bit too low.
Right.
So I stopped for several years. But when I went to Paris, I studied in the Conservatory of Paris with Jean-Marc Collet for 3 years. I remember the first year, the final test of school of conservatoire.
Yeah.
The assignment.
Yeah, sure. Your
piece,
lesson, the required piece.
Was Second Street, Allemand and Courant of the Second Street, and it was in A minor, so it was a little bit challenging.
Yes,
but it's good. It's good. But I didn't know. I think it's only two movements of transcription.
Yes.
Of my teacher, maybe they were not whole edition. And several years later, I found, because I saw a movie. That movie was the name was Tous les Matins du Monde. So in the movie, the sound of Violin da Gamba, played by Jordi Savall, and the sound was very relaxed and very polite and relaxing. So I wonder if we play Bach suites, just like Violin da Gamba, the feeling is something like a lot of open string.
Yeah.
So it's style.
Yes.
Style maybe should be better than too much vibrato. And I found if we read the original part of cello with tenor clef, so we can get the key, better key, with a lot of open string. If we have a lot of open string, we can have harmonics.
Right.
And then we can play chords easier.
Yes.
So I edited this new edition. It was 2012. So the first suite to the fifth use the reed on tenor
clef. Yeah.
And then the sixth one is every double bassist is in D major.
Right.
So there is no problem. But the first one to the fifth, this is the first edition, integrated edition. This is the first one. So I think this is a very good idea for double bassist.
Yeah. Well, I love the first suite is in D major.
Yes.
So you have all these open strings and you have, it's a really comfortable register to sit
and
in.
the register for listening is good also.
Yes.
It's not too high, not too low.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Well, this is very exciting, and it's a wonderful edition, and I love looking through, and you've got some drawings from your daughter in there, which is wonderful, and people can find this online. They can find the printed edition on Amazon.
Yes.
And then they can also find your recording of all 6 of the suites online as well.
Yes.
Right? Okay. And are these all in the same key that you transcribed? These are all...
Actually, I recorded with solo strings.
Okay, so they're solo strings.
So, yes.
So, but played, so like you, first suite, you, played, so we're hearing it in E major.
Yes.
But yeah, you're playing it as if it was in D major.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
wonderful. Wow, well, I'm looking forward to checking these out, and people should definitely check out this new integrated edition, and what a tremendous work putting all these 6 suites together like this. It's a lot of work to go through and think through this, but it's a beautiful edition, and it's great to meet you, and we'll link up to both of these. Thanks, Jung Ho. Great to hang out. And folks, we've got links to his recording and to the edition in the show notes over at contrabassconversations.com. So be sure to check that out. And thank you for following along with the podcast. I'm guessing this isn't your first episode, but if it is, welcome. And we've got a lot in the archives. We've got a lot in store. It's a really exciting time to be involved in the bass world. And I'm so thrilled to play the part that I do in the multiple roles, but recording this podcast is a thrill for sure. Contrabass Conversations is produced by Michael Cooper, Steve Hinchy, Trevor Jones, and Mitch Mooring. Mitch makes beautiful basses in the Dallas area. Look him up online and learn more at mitchmooring.com. I'm your host, Jason Heath, and we will see you again soon for more life on the low end of the spectrum.